Hello, I'm Bjorn, movie archaeologist man dude guy, and I just saw a new artifact. I found a new artifact here at the Roman ruins, which are different than the previous ruins. These are Roman-themed ruins, do not be mistaken. Don't be led astray into thinking these are the same jungle ruins. These are very different. These ones are Roman. I saw Gladiator 2. That was a terrible bit. I'm sorry. I saw Gladiator 2, and what did I think of Gladiator 2? Well, if you like the first Gladiator, shocking everyone, really groundbreaking shit here, you'll probably like the second Gladiator. Okay, so let me actually talk about this thing. Gladiator 2 is a good movie. I don't think it's a great movie. I think it's not as good as the first one. I think it's, I'm going to spoil the secret, it's a 7.5 out of 10. I'm a huge fan of Swords and Sandals movies. I like historical epics. I like historical fiction. This is decisively historical fiction. I like me some sword fights. I like me some fun, gladiator action. And this movie has that. There's an opening set piece in this involving Nubia and a naval battle there. Kick ass. Big fan. Did enjoy. The other positive for this movie, besides the action, which is, as I said, very good, the acting, it's all really good. Basically like the original one. You got some really standout performances. Pedro Pascal is great as always. I don't know names, forgive me. The guy who's going to be playing Johnny Storm in the Fantastic Four movie and was also in A Quiet Place continues to excel here playing the insane emperor. Lovely. The guy who played the main character, sorry, names escape me, he's good. Surprising no one, Denzel Washington is good. The acting is all around good. Where the movie kind of falls apart for me a little bit, where I find my flaws, is in the writing department. The first half of this movie is the exact same, beat for beat, as the original Gladiator, which I don't think would have been as jarring if you hadn't seen Gladiator since it came out in 2000. I watched Gladiator on Thursday of last week, and then I went in and watched Gladiator 2, so I was like, oh, I've seen this one. Yeah, oh, this is a classic. And luckily, I was really not into it, because it was so familiar. I was literally predicting plot beats as they happened. I'm like, oh, this is where that happens. Oh, okay. Oh, this is where that happens. Boy, isn't it wild that this has happened to a main character, and then exactly the same way, 16 years later, to another main character. Boy, how about that? And then luckily, right around the halfway point, or maybe the 3/4 point, a little like somewhere in between there, the movie starts going its own way, and the movie picks up significantly. I felt that was where the movie really found its voice, and I was really drawn into it. It would have been a much lower score had the movie not turned around. Don't get me wrong, I am positive on this movie. The ending is pretty spectacular. There's some groaner lines here and there. A lot of the heroic speeches are kind of like, I have a dream. I see a Rome where people stand side by side, where we don't have to fight. Or it's like, I will kill you for that. It's all very generic, but, it's fun. You don't really come to this for the writing. You come for this for the kick-ass hero doing kick-ass stuff and, in a revenge plot. And as far as the revenge plot goes, this movie actually subverts it in some very fun ways. I was a fan of what they did with the revenge plot here. That was the thing that really stood out to me as being radically different from the original. This goes in a very different direction. I think they had to make a second revenge movie about a gladiator getting revenge on someone in a gladiatorial arena. You would kind of have to switch it up, otherwise it would get kind of dull. And I think, honestly, the changes this movie makes to the Gladiator story near the end and the second half of the movie really help it find its own voice. Because in the beginning, I was just like, this didn't need to be made. I liked the action, but this didn't need to be made. But by the end, I get it. It has a vision. I think you maybe could have rewritten parts of the beginning to make it more distinctive from the original Gladiator. But hey, it is called Gladiator 2. So, what can you do? All right, complaining time. I'm going to complain about something. So the movie starts with this little cartoon intro. It's like it's scenes from the first movie, but done in an oil pastel kind of jittering aesthetic, almost like Arcane but worse. And I was watching it, and I'm like, wow, this looks like dog shit. This is AI, isn't it? And I was suspicious the whole way through. It looked like they just threw scenes from the original movie through a really, really shitty AI program to make them look like pastel paint. And it looked really, really bad. Like every time they would zoom in on Russell Crowe's face, it would look like a complete mess. And I was like, huh, I had my suspicions. So when I got out of the theater, first thing I did was I Googled it. Yeah, this thing has an AI intro, like Secret Invasion. I'm just going to cut to that SpongeBob clip.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I love the young people.
Yeah, I don't know how many times we have to teach them this lesson. Nobody wants AI shit in our fucking television or movies. No, thank you. It looks awful. It seems terrible. The tech is just not there yet. Stop using it for anything other than making crowd simulations. Thank you. That's all. It looked bad. I'm not going to take any points off for it because it's a little minor thing and it didn't even really matter. But it looked ugly and bad, and it would have looked better if you gave it to an artist. Or if you just played clips from the original movie and slapped the credits over them. It would have looked better. It looked bad. Alrighty. I'm going to give this one the 7.5 I said earlier. Maybe leaning towards an 8. I think this is a pretty good movie. If you're a fan of swords movies, I would almost call this like a dad movie. That's not a bad thing. I actually really like dad movies. But you know what I mean. And I'm getting towards that age, man. I'm turning into a dad. I'm getting to that age bracket of armchair generals. So, yes, as a history guy and a historian myself, I find this to be amusing. Real fast, though, one final thing. One actual thing. I want to talk about the wild historical inaccuracies in this movie. Look, I get it. It's not trying to be historically accurate, but the idea that the Romans got sharks into the arena is absolutely ridiculous. Now, the Romans did fill the arena up with water and have naval battles, which is unfathomably cool. Like, that was already cool enough. But the director was like, more. And he put sharks in the water that, like, jump up and eat people. And that is so wildly stupid that it actually took me out of the movie. I think that was a bad idea. How would they even go about transporting sharks? I don't think they gave that 2 seconds of thought. I don't even think Rome is... Hold on. Is Rome on the ocean? No, it's on a river. It's not on the ocean. So there's absolutely no way they would have been able to get sharks in there. I'm calling bullshit on that one movie. There's some other little things, but that's really it. Alright, I've been Bjorn, Archaeologist Man. Subscribe and like if you enjoyed this. I'll see you all in the next one.